Again, this is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Fluid Art Studio. That's a 10-inch by 20-inch canvas with a piece of frog tape that I stuck down to one of those label... You know how you peel labels off and you have something shiny left behind? Well, I stuck my frog tape, not very well, but it worked just the same to that, and then I cut it out. So I want to do a yellow sky, scape, and I want to use some of my fluorescents from Vivid Intense Color by Colourarte. And I'm going to start with a yellow-orange. You know what? I'm going to put some white in. I didn't think I was, but I'm going to. I've got some Artists Loft White. I just want to be able to move the color and blend the color. And I probably put too much on there, but we'll continue on. So that was the yellow-orange fluorescent, and this is a Vivid Intense Hansa yellow that I put a little Parolle orange into, which is pretty similar. I just squeezed you out. Yes, it's a little darker. And I know these colors are intense, so I'm going to have to back off, and this is trial and error. I have a little bit of white Vivid Intense too mixed up, so that might come in handy in a minute. I might use that also. This is the light Hansa yellow. I started out experimenting with a quinacridone magenta, nickel azo gold, but that did not seem to work out. And I thought I had another quinacridone, but I'm not finding it. So I guess we're just going to start with what we've got. Although I do have an Indian yellow, which is pretty sweet. And that is another Vivid Intense. Let me just use some of this white before I get in over my head. Even if it's not mixed up very well. I mix it with Floetrol. The others are mixed with Vivid Intense, Vivid Polypore. So I am going to try and mix these up a little bit, right on the canvas. Take out the things that don't belong. I might be really sorry I put that white in there, but I don't think so. I'll be alright. I can always come back and coat it later. I really did want a pale yellow sky, so whatever I get after that, I'll be okay with. So you see how I swipe across, and then I knock the color off on the edge. And I'm seeing that I've got something in my paint, but I suspect that it's part of the canvas, but they're coming out, so I will hope there aren't a lot more of them. I'm liking that sky. This is a really dark color. That Indian yellow is strong. But as long as everything's still wet, I can mix it right on the canvas, and I'm going to like my results. I'm just going to keep scraping it up and putting it down again, because I like the little streaks in it. I'm not so hot on the straight, strong colors, but I am loving the reaction with the white. And I can leave those three little marks. And now that I've got a nice base layer of pale yellow with a couple streaks I really like, I can decide if I want to do something else. And I think I will use some more of this Hansa yellow with a little bit of Parolle orange in it. doesn't much matter what I do on the bottom half yet, because I'm going to plan on swiping Escape in there. I do want to keep going over to the edge. I also wouldn't mind having enough paint left to go across the top, but I think I can fudge that anyway. I might even be better off waiting and mixing some white up with some of this yellow. I like the striations, and I like them so much I'm going to keep wanting more. So that's my new yellow, the Hansa yellow with Parolle orange in it. Kind of reminds me of the sour lemon with orange crush that I keep using so often. I could add actual orange, but I'm not actually up for that yet. I don't want to take too long because the paint will dry. And my opportunity, though, that worked well. I'm going to have to look out for all those little nubbies. Just make sure there aren't any more. It's a little hard to get the top completely not canvas showing sort of thing. But I got my edges pretty well. And as long as the paint's wet, you can keep swiping back and forth. I tried a trick, it did not work. I tried to scrape the paint away from it. And now I'm going to have to pay the price for that. Which I might actually like the look of. Just add some funky texture. I like that. I like that a lot. Scrape too much up. My canvas was pre-primed, by the way, I didn't say so. So I'm just exposing some of the background and then swiping across it again. And yeah, I'm kind of taking my time. It's a fun process though. I'm going to take whatever I've got on my spatula and wipe it off on the top right now. Take whatever on my edges, put them on the top too. Whatever's on my silicone mat on my turntable, you guessed it, right on the top too. Not afraid of indenting my hand in the back of the canvas because I know it'll stretch tight when it dries. Okay, I am not going to pull up on that tape yet. But I don't think I'm going to mind what I just did, which was to blow into the paint on there. You could make all kinds of new marks in the sky as the paint begins to set up. And you could certainly use more colors than I did. And I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I could come back and add orange or pink, but I definitely like what I'm seeing. Clean off my spatula on the bottom. And now it's time to decide what to do about the bottom. Okay, I'm going to use the Vivid Intense White. because I know it's not very strong. I didn't mix it very strong. And I just want a wet canvas. I like my OXO omelet turning flip and fold spatulas because they carry a blade of paint. Just wetting the canvas. And then throw that spatula in the bucket so the paint doesn't dry on it. And get busy adding some Prizm Pour Wintergreen. This is going to seem pretty random out of the gate. I like this yellow green. This Vivid Intense yellow green is gorgeous. Hopefully I shook it. Let's make sure. I'm going to move paint from one place to another. I don't actually think I need the Fandango, but I'm going to use some anyway. That's a Prizm Pour. The Vivid Intenses don't shimmer. But the Prizm Pours definitely do. Here's a Vivid Intense Fluorescent Green. Not going to need any more white. And here's my favorite Red Violet, which is another fluorescent Vivid Intense. I'll have some Fields of Flowers, please. I kept meaning to grab some coppery color, but I've got this Tuscan Gold, which is a Vivid Intense also. I know what I'm doing doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it seems like you should know what you're doing when you're doing this, but I really have found that it doesn't matter. As long as you have enough paint to swipe through. This is Indigo Violet. Yes, it is. Which is a Prizm Pour. By the time I get through adding all the colors that I saved out, you could modify this palette, no problem. Just use a few greens and a couple purples and one orange. This is Fairy Tales Primary Elements Alexandrite. A beautiful green. That reminds me of the Royal Sapphire that I think I'm going to use some of now that I've said it. I just tried to knock 3 bottles over all at once though. Hang on. I really can't beat the Royal Sapphire for adding some zip. What else have I got here? I've got a little Tempting Tulip, Primary Element, for some reason I'm craving orange still, so let's throw a little bit of Orange Crush in there. And cross our fingers that this is going to work. I have another Vivid Intense yellow green. This is gorgeous. Did I use this already? Yeah, it kind of looks like I did. Never mind. Let's grab the green tea, which is a Primary Element. What else have I got? I have some Triple Sec, which is a Prizm Pour. Which is obviously a color that is also intense, even if it's not a Vivid Intense. I've got Frog Prints. I'm going to start with what I've got. And actually, I'm going to add some fresh pine. Primary Element. Unless I want some more purple. Wait. I do want some more purple. I've got deep amethyst. Why don't I clean the tip out of this thing? Hey, it came open. That's awesome. I'll leave that out so I can use it. Now I need a swipe card. And I've got one and some Aussie Floetrol and Amsterdam Black. And I'm going to run my back of my card right up here. Well, I've got 3 minutes. So I'm just going to keep working, and I may need another swipe card because this one is already full of paint. But I've got small ones. I've got a bunch right here. Let me just use a playing card. That just makes life so much easier. No paint chips invited. Now remember, my canvas was already painted white, so if I like the gaps, I can keep them. It does look like I have some freebies for mark making because I have evidently a rough edge on my card, but I'm not really worried about it because I can switch it out. Let me grab some more Aussie Floetrol. I hope the person that left the refrigerator freezer open figures it out pretty quick. I know you can't hear that, but I can. Yep, they're not figuring it out. I might add a few trees. Whenever I'm done, I'll be going to the kitchen and closing that refrigerator door or freezer. Oh, there we go. I heard it. Somebody figured it out. Sorry. I'm going to use the long side of this card. I'm loving my colors. And I'm not minding my gaps. I'm thinking they might stay. I could keep dipping until I get enough color to cover my bottom edge. But right now I just want to get the paint off my card. I really like those white spots. I like everything about this actually. Take the paint right off my card with my finger. Touch up my edges. I want to pull that sun off. But first, I've got paint dripping down. I want to use what's easy. And I don't want to mix it all up with my finger by rubbing it across. I want to dab it on there. So I make an attempt to blend it. Not that it's a big deal. Alright, I've got 1 minute left. Let's see if I can find my tweezers and I can pull the sun off. Alright, I can do anything I want with that, including leave it white. And if I had a Q-tip standing by, I could clean up my little indiscreet edge there. But other than the fact that I might add a few trees after you're gone, I love you guys. Please come again. I posted 10:15 a.m. I accept donations to my PayPal icon on the bottom right hand corner of my YouTube channel banner. I've got 30 playlists of videos, and if you like something, just ask me because I've got them all saved by topic and genre as well. I'm forgetting everything. Please give me a thumbs up when you share my videos. You help me out. I really appreciate you guys a lot. You inspired me often and always. I I sell my artwork and I give lessons at the house in Spring Hill, Florida. Thank you for joining the membership. If you happen to be a member, thank you. There's 110 videos there.